So in the technical bit of it, now obviously I wanted to ask this and you've answered it already, that what's the presentation versus skills?
Yeah.
But we've already gone through that. But now if I want to go technically, if you are seeing a portfolio.
Sir, I'm not going back to as I said, so I would rather redo everything what I said from storytelling, because फिर अगर तूने वो cut कर दिया तो as I already mentioned would go away. So it doesn't make sense anymore. So portfolio, normally a lot of designers think that there is a golden rule or there is like a particular, because I've seen a lot of YouTubers putting out my Google portfolio and all, and people tend to follow them. There's no harm in following anybody's style, but for me, portfolio is more about storytelling. It's more about your comfort, and it should be more representing you on a paper than the project. Because when somebody is looking at portfolio, they're not really looking at the project that you've done. They're looking at how did you work there? What are the things that you did? How was the impact? What did you like and didn't like? How do you take that entire journey and put it on paper? It's not about, because somebody's worked on a huge ass project, they're going to get the job. No, it's about, can they actually even talk about it really well, right? So it's about storytelling, super important. Your presentation and storytelling should go hand in hand, and that's super important. So there are no golden rules ki acha yahi karna hai. So I get a lot of students saying, hey Rushab, I really need help with my portfolio and on. So that's how we also have I did this one-on-one mentorship session, which is called portfolio critique. So what we do there is we do a nice 8 session to 10 session gig, and we start with one single project. We just work on one project, no spoon feeding. I have 1 hour syncs with them. Every sync we plan on something and they execute and they come back. And we plan, they execute, they come back. I give them feedback, they'll probably go back and they'll come. So this pure journey, because I'm not spoon feeding, they have to learn a lot. And I do this in a sprint manner. I do it at a very small timeline manner. I don't give them larger timelines for everything. Maybe research ke liye bada chunk de raha, but baki ke liye kam. Because my goal here isn't ki they make something huge. My goal is they do something in detail that they can actually talk about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to guiding them more towards doing a lot of things and doing, a good project. I'm trying to give them or tell them, what exactly are you doing and why are you doing it? And there are quite a few things around it. So my suggestion is going to be, know what you're presenting. Don't put things for the sake of it. Don't just use fancy jargon terms because, why not? Do you really know what the user journey means that you put there? Is the context to it correct? Oh, and also another super important point is, for sure, add your failures during your project, especially if it's a live project. What was a bigger blocker there? How did you solve it? Because that now shows us, oh shit, they did actually face something, and this is how they overcame it, and that's how the journey was. And it really helps me understand how do you tackle problems. That's something that is a lot of times overlooked. We think, failure kaise dikha hai? Portfolio hai, happy party chahiye. No. Be real with your portfolio so that the questions that come out are really good. And put things that you're more confident of.
Yeah.
Use correct terms that you're more confident of, because the questions are going to be triggered in that direction. You don't want people to navigate. And another thing that I see a lot of designers miss out is, give me a short introduction of what you're trying to present.
Okay.
When you're beginning, tell me kya sun raha hu main. Varna pura
context.
present kar rahe ho. Yeah, you present the entire thing and then I understand the context of it. Build some story, build a nice introduction. There should be some context to, this project, this is what I'm trying to do. So now I know what you're doing.
Just a question back. I think some days ago only I asked you about a form. That's also when you told me, tell me the context of it. But a lot of people, I'm also counting my own self, we also kind of differ from, am I creating a bias by giving the context, or what's the say in that?
So see, now context from portfolio point of view, how are you going to create a bias? You're rather giving them more insight. So it's like going to an Avenger film and you're watching the 5th part and you're getting a recap. Is the recap creating a bias? No. But the recap is trying to set some context to it. So it's more about setting context for your user. Now when you send me a feedback form, it was about a particular product that you're working on. Maybe you thought ki wo bolne se bias hoga, but I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't know there's such a huge spectrum of things that I was doing. A little context of what you are trying to do would have helped.
Okay.
So we have done a lot of user studies at OnePlus. When I was working at OnePlus, it's a B2C firm. We are doing operating system design for them. So operating system 13K time I was working with them, and I had to talk to a lot of users. If I'm not giving them context of what I'm doing, how do they know what they're supposed to do? I'm not creating a bias. I'm just telling them ki, guys, main XYZ kar raha hu. You don't have to tell them what you're trying to achieve. You don't have to tell them you just have to give them some base guideline ताकि पता है क्या करना है. It's like, I'm taking it to a swimming pool and I'm like, go. Go for what? Do you want me to sprint? Do you want me to just chill? Do you want me to do something? Do you want to see what am I looking at? I need to know the small bits of क्या चाहिए क्या, वो तो पता रहना चाहिए ना. वरना तुम मुझको पूछेगी ऋषभ, do you use a smartwatch? And I'm like, yeah. I don't know, but hey Rushab, so I'm just studying about smartwatch and I really want to do XYZ. Like I'm just looking into this particular space and I would like to improve the experience. So I just want to know, like more things around how you use it, why you use it and things around it. Now I'm like, okay, more comfortable with it. Now I know what direction to give you. Oh, maybe it'll not create a bias, it'll rather let me articulate things better. वरना मैं तो देखो सब बोलूँगा ना, oh I don't game on my smartwatch, I don't listen to music on my smartwatch. But I know you are looking more from gestures POV. I got to know about it as I went ahead in the questions. Then I was like, अरे 6th question में समझा रहे, first question का answer better हो सकता था.
Yeah.
So a lot of those questions, I guess, that changes. And this is from a very user POV. But from your portfolio point of view, your project should have a short intro. I need to know. I need to know what you've done, how you've done it. Product basic story तो दो कि क्या चल रहा है. Then just really jumping on to, I researched. What research? I don't know what you're talking about. Because then you're going to tell me an entire story about your friends without even telling me who these friends are.
Correct.
Maybe your friends are sitting in front of me and you're just talking about a story, and how do I get the context for it, right? So I guess that's something important, setting up a good context.
Okay.
Need not it always create a bias, but there needs to be some context to drive in a correct direction.